Okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, this week, Amanda Smith sent me a picture of finding a layer of stuff over her horse's frog aquarium. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to remind you by showing you the picture of my horse and then showing you the picture of hers. Now, this filly is a 2-year-old filly, and what happened to this? Now, I know this happens. Okay, so ultimately what TACT is about and what I started studying, the first thing that I really started researching and studying led me to mechanical laminitis, something that is rarely, if ever, spoken about. In the old days, they called it road founder. But really, the two things are somewhat different. Ultimately, what it is trimming induced structural failure of the foot, say, caused by trimming, or, it can be caused by lack of trimming as well, or a combination of you trim too much here and not enough there. See, but what it is the hoof capsule does not grow correctly on the foot. And so I call it trimming induced mechanical laminitis. But, wanting people to understand what's going on, it is trimming induced structural failure of the foot, all because they do not understand the structural makeup of the foot and the capsule together, and what is right and true and correct, and how this is anatomy and it has to be a specific way, and it's not arbitrary. Human anatomy is not arbitrary. Your heart, my heart isn't like in the middle of my chest. Oh, but yours is in the middle of your left butt cheek. See, but that's exactly the way they treat these feet. And so there is specific anatomy, specific structure, and these are laws, structural laws that have to be adhered to. You cannot break these laws, or you are going to have consequences. You're going to have structural failure. And really, that's all it is. Now, we have people who are professionals who inspect buildings. You think about it, we have all these codes that you have to adhere to in the structure of the houses and the buildings that we live in and use. And over time, laws have been put into place, and people have to have things up to code. And the reason for that is because if you don't, mankind has studied building and structures for thousands of years. And so they know how to build things. They know the principles of building and what makes them hold together, what makes them last. Because if you don't adhere to these structural engineering principles for a sound edifice building, and then that building fails, what is the consequence? What could be the consequence of that? Death, right? Death, financial loss, loss of property and goods. When we bridge buildings, anything like that, it's all about structural integrity. And there are laws that apply. And it is the same thing with these feet. And you can't just go treating this like it's a block of wood, because that is exactly what they have been led to do. And then break all these structural laws and not have consequences. Okay, but for hundreds and hundreds of years, these smiths slash farriers have been taught to blame this on the horse one way or another. And I remember when barefoot trimming first started, and the barefooters were always, you know, dissing the farriers and oh, how bad farrier he is, and oh, these shoes, and oh, blah blah blah. You know, well, you know what? They're just as bad now, just as bad, even worse. In breaking structural laws. See, it's just so ridiculous that all this barefoot trimming is based on one wild horse that wore its heels out. Okay, and so the farriers didn't, we're going to have to go through a real history lesson on this, not today, but the farriers, okay, they did not like barefoot trimmers in the beginning, but then they saw the writing on the wall, and now they all want to be barefoot trimmers too. They want to add that in to their client base. And so so now they picked up all the nasty habits, many of them, and they weren't really any good before. Now, this is not a personal thing. Unfortunately, it becomes personal because, especially in men, their profession is not just what they do. It is who they are. Do you understand that? Who knows that about men? How serious they are about their jobs.
So true.
Huh?
So true.
Yeah, see? So you have the farrier industry, okay? The smiths for hundreds of years, it's not just a job, okay? It becomes part of their identity. All right? So to try and tell them that they've been practicing something wrong, or know something wrong, or believe something wrong for hundreds of years, ha ha ha, you know, good luck with that. See, it's really, really difficult now as an industry. See, and so that's what we're dealing with. But anyway, so this horse of Amanda's right here, she's 2 years old, and this is the shape her feet are in. Now they're better right now than when she started, but you can look at this foot over here. Am I sharing the right one? Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold on. Share screen. Okay. Okay, so what happened to this foal? Once you understand structural principles. Okay, so where I was going with that, I got a little carried away. Where I was going with that is, so you have men that go around and they inspect buildings to make sure they're up to code. And then if a building fails, you have other people that go in that know the structural engineering principles, and they come in and they examine the whole building and they tell you why that building failed. And if a lot of times, if it gets traced back to the builder, that he made mistakes, that he took shortcuts or anything like that, that person is held responsible and they're going to have to pay, say, because of the loss of life. So this is all a really good thing, this whole area of buildings and structures and things like that. Well, now when you know and understand the structural makeup of these feet, then and when you know how people trim and what it does to the foot and how it makes it grow and how it leads to structural failure and why, then you can look at feet like this, okay, and you can put all these things together and you can come to a pretty close idea of what happened to this horse to make her feet this bad? Does that make sense to you? So, okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think happened to this filly. Now, Amanda had a horse named Cody, and we were working on his feet, and he was coming along. Then she decided she wanted this filly. She sold Cody, and she got this filly, and she's only 2 years old. She's just a really nice little filly, but she had really bad feet. So how could her feet be like this? Because I'm going to tell you what this is like. This is like as if the filly walked out of the hoof capsule about a third of the way, and then just a minute. I got other things to do first. Anyway, so it's like if you slipped your shoe off about a third of the way and then super glued it on. See, that's what you got going on here. Your foot, her foot back here, it's not even in the capsule. The capsule's clear up here, and look at on this one. Oh, but it's still attached, so it's like pulling this in. If you look on the foot back here, you can really see. I'm going to make a copy of this, save image so I can enlarge it. Because as you are releasing these frogs, it is very important for you to know that you also are growing hoof capsule on at the same time. So let me get this picture up here bigger. And then I will do a new share. Okay, so the foot is hanging half out the back of the hoof capsule. The horn tubules, which should be more upright and in alignment with the internal lamina of the foot. Now, when I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, and I say that the horn tubules here, okay, you see the lines, they look like little hairs going down there. When I say that these horn tubules should be in alignment with the internal lamina of the foot, who here knows? I got 6 people here right now. Let's see, who is it? Just a minute. Oh, come on. Okay, I want to know out of us 6, I know that I know. I want to know who understands what I mean by internal lamina.
Me.
Okay.
Janet.
I do.
Okay, how many types of
Same
lamina
here.
are there?
Types?
Yeah,
2,
2. Yes. And
Internal and external.
well,
sensitive and insensitive.
yes, the
Yeah.
one that's attached to the foot, and then the one on the capsule that grows to attach to that foot. The one on the foot is permanent. The internal foot, the one on the capsule grows like hair, is temporary, attaches to that internal lamina, slides down the foot, you know, and out back. So that internal foot has a certain angle of lamina. Just a minute. Let me get a picture up here. And so what we're trying to do here, new share, hold on. Okay, what we're trying to do here is, now this foot here is pulled down, so the lamina is more run forward. Just a minute, annotate, pause share, let me do an annotation here. Da, da, da. That'll work. Okay, you see the lamina? Oh, that's not right. Wait a minute. Clear all drawings. Let me find something else. Maybe that. And we'll do it in red. Okay, so you see the lamina. This is the internal lamina right here. You see it? Now, because these feet are out of the capsule, it's kind of got smashed, you know, but it would be like, okay, I don't smoke marijuana, all right, but you know those really thin rolling papers? I used to smoke though. I used to smoke and roll my own, and it was drum tobacco, all right? But I quit 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. So these little lamina are fine, thin, like little sheets of paper here, okay? And just a minute. Well, I didn't want to say, you know, those rolling papers and have y'all think I'm hanging out over here getting high all the time or something. So, yeah, in fact, I hate that stuff. But anyway, anyway, so these are the internal lamina, the sensitive lamina. These are permanent. Okay, but let me find a hoof capsule internal lamina picture here. The other lamina. Oh wait, hold on. Clear all drawing. Find a hoof capsule. We'll look at some internal lamina. Okay, I think this will do it. New share. Okay, you see the lamina there? So that would be the lamina of the hoof capsule. And so they interlock, like if you were to interlock your fingers, kind of like that. In fact, I want you to do an experiment and stuff. I want you to just put your fingers together. Don't close them or anything, but just, you know how you put your one finger, your fingers in between the other fingers on the hand. Just keep your fingers kind of open and put them together. Like remember, well, no, that wouldn't work. So that your fingers are crisscrossed. Okay. And then just kind of relax your fingers and then just lightly try and pull your hands apart. And you will notice that your fingers stick together. Okay. And even though they're sticking together, I mean, if you really pulled hard, you can of course pull them apart. But that is kind of like what that lamina, it has some movement. Okay. But and some a little bit of spring to it, but yet it is tightly interlocked. And of course, we can't see that it's also got these other things on it that even lock them together more. Okay, so there's your laminate. Now, these should correspond. Look here, you go out here, look at the horn tubules right here. And then the outer horn tubules, which run down the foot, ideally would about be in very close, should be in very close proximity. Whatever horn tubule starts over here and run down the outside of the foot should be in close proximity to this lamina here. Okay, and this lamina, let's see, new share, we'll go back to the foot. That lamina will be attached right here. Well, right here internally, that's attached right here. That horn tubule is attached up here. Let me do some annotating here. So let's say here's your lamina, the internal one right there. Here's the lamina on the inside of the hoof capsule right here. And then the horn tubules coming out and up into here. On the outside of the capsule should be about there. You see how they're all, that's structural. See, that's the structural law. Now, when we look at this foot, the thing, well, first of all, this was a deformed foot and the whole back of the foot was pulled down like this. This foot was not deformed, but what you need to know is that when you take them out of the capsule, because the capsule supports the whole back of this foot, the back of the foot falls down. That's how movable it is. See this heel right here that goes like that? Okay, it should be like more like this if it was supported with the capsule. But again, you take the frog, all that out, okay, and the back of the foot, it's loose. It just falls down. So this is part of the structure that we are trying to correct too, because when you take the heels out of these horses, like, okay, if the back of this foot was picked up like this, these lamina and the lamina, the two laminas and the external horn tubule, they would all more be at an angle like this, say. And so, I mean, can you understand how if something, let me make this a little bit bigger. If something is supposed to be at an angle like that, all the way down, okay, can you understand how the weight bearing of the horse on a shell that it is supposed to fit to this foot and move with it? Can you understand structurally how if something was supposed to start, let me get a better color here, was supposed to be here, is now at an angle like that? How does that change the weight bearing? How does that change what may push up here if this horn tubule is here, but if you've lowered the back of the foot and now it's aimed that way and it's pushing that way, then how does that change, see, the weight bearing? See, when you're dealing with structures, if anybody just joined, what we're talking about is the principles of structural engineering, and how what is going on with horses is because people don't, for centuries, they've had false knowledge in the understanding of this foot. And for centuries, they have not understood the structural laws that govern this foot. Because they have so much error for hundreds of years in their teaching that they're not thinking about these laws. And so what you have is trimming induced structural failure. And so in this class, even though it's primarily we're dealing with the frog and stuff like that, well, you got to get the rest of the foot working with you too. You have to correct the rest of the foot as well. See, and so if you have the back of your foot is pulled down and all of these the lamina and the horn tubules and everything are at an angle like that, see, they're all pushing forward. And then you got what here, this push forward. What's this going to push forward on? The toe. See, and this is how they all wind up growing like that. Like this foot is not right. This hairline right here should be clear up here. And on this foot, it would be if I would just push this up, this part up right here. See, but like I said, you take it out of the capsule, it just flops down to the ground. So as we are trimming and releasing the frog, we also want to be able to read the rest of the foot and understand what is going on with the structure. And so, so these are things you want to pay attention to too. Where are your horn tubules at? Are the horn tubules here in the quarter that should be right here? Are they clear up like this? And so a lot of it has to do with what's going on with the back of that foot. Because you can imagine that if I was to take and rotate this or just start lifting this coronary band up like this and change all the angle of this lamina, that then that's going to promote these horn tubules to move back and grow straighter too. Let me clear all this mess here. So one thing we're going to have to learn is how to trim so that the toe, the sides of the toe are the actual shape of the foot. Now this foot was round, and that is not the shape a true foot is. And because the capsule was forced into being round by a professionally trained trimmer, okay, it forced the foot into being almost, well, no, that foot didn't want to be round. It was just all kinds of deformed. Now this foot, okay, it did not have any visible distortions or deformations because it had a pretty good fitting hoof capsule that had never been totally distorted. So anyway, these are just some things to think about as you are correcting your foot, that you also have to learn to get the pillars and the sole in the sides of the toe right so that the foot is shaped correctly. And this is something you grow. This is not just something you can automatically trim down to, but you can start by learning what is the shape of that toe. How can I take that toe down to be more shaped like it's supposed to be? Because see what we know, if I trim this foot in such a way that it deforms the capsule, well, it pulls the foot right into that, right? So if I trim in such a way to start correcting that, it will also pull the foot back into that and correct the internal foot, because see, that's what we're doing by trimming these frogs, by getting the frog growth right, by getting the periople to release and release the whole back of the foot. We are changing where that internal foot is so that it will grow our capsules correctly. Okay, so that's enough of that today.
Hold on, back up a minute.
Okay.
So you're talking about the quarters and getting them under control. Isn't that where we go in with the quarters should be about a 1/4 inch shorter than the length of the toe when we're trimming?
Oh, you mean the toe quarter, right? Right
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
You're getting that shape. Isn't that where we're coming in with how long that is?
Yes.
To the
Yes.
front toe?
That's part of it, you
Part of
know,
it.
but like for everything, you have to do a couple different things. You can't do, you just like when I'm determining the true apex of the frog
Yeah.
right here. Now I can do this deal where I'm standing up there and I'm looking right here at the hairline and I'm trying with the best of my ability to come over here to the side of the foot and draw a line straight down.
Right.
And then I'll pick up the foot and then I'll draw a line across and see if my apex is close to that. But because my eyes and hand coordination ain't perfect, I could be here or I could be here,
I've
right?
been working on a better way for me to do that more accurately.
Oh, good, good. When you find it, share it.
Well, like I said, I don't know if I can draw on here, but I started using, making can I draw on this?
Yeah, you wanna show us?
Not really, but hold on. How do you draw on this thing?
I can stop just a minute.
If I go from this point right here, view options.
If I stop share, then you can share. There should be a little thing there.
I see it says share screen.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
All right,
so
I have
I'll
no idea.
stop and I'll let you.
I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Where'd the picture go?
Oh, I'll put the picture back. Just a minute.
Bleh.
Okay.
All right. So what I was doing is see this point here. How do I draw? I'm trying to get, oh wait, hold on. I got to do share screen again. Hold on. Share screen. Okay. How do I draw on this little booger? Where's, I'm just looking chat, share screen, record reactions, apps.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, no, that's not it. All right. Well, anyway, can you see my cursor moving around?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's right over here at the toe.
I see it.
All right. There's a second one going around too.
Oh, mine's right here. I can't even see yours. Why
Mine's
is
over
that?
here.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. you draw it out and then you take a picture for me because it is not showing up on my screen.
I'm trying to figure out how the heck.
Wonder why.
What's this button?
Oh, there we go.
What?
Maybe that'll work. It said let multiple people share.
Can you see the arrow and moving now?
Nope, I can't see nothing.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I wonder why somebody else can see it and I can't. Let's see.
Can't see anything. I can't see anything drawn. If you've drawn anything.
No, I
it's
haven't
not
drawn because I'm
showing up.
trying to figure out how to draw on here.
No, I don't see any cursor at all.
Hold on. All right. I don't know if I don't see a drawing, but hold on. I'm working on it. Text, mouse, stamp, arrow. No. All right, hold on. Text, draw. We're getting there. It's getting ugly, but we're getting there. I hate computers.
Pretty
all right.
sure I'm on the right one too.
All right, do you see? No, what color am I on now? Draw blue line. I think it's a blue line. It goes out. Why isn't it making a line? I'm trying to figure out format, red.
Do you have annotate on?
Yeah, and I've got all these things across the top: mouse, text, draw, stamp, arrow, format, clear. All right, line width. Hold on, I'm gonna make it really wide.
Yeah, see, I'm not getting nothing.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. All right, see that?
Nope.
I just put a red line on.
Oh, I see
No.
it now. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep,
Okay,
I see it.
all
Okay.
right. So what I did was I took a tongue depressor or just
Uh-huh.
whatever they call
Okay,
those
I
things
think
for
I
kids.
saw a picture. You
Yeah,
shared a picture.
So I held it straight out from his hairline right there,
Uh-huh.
held it vertical or horizontal to the ground.
Okay.
Then I came up here and made myself look straight down. Hold on, straight down to the toe.
Mhm.
I'm close. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then what I did was on this tongue depressor, I marked this spot with the magic marker.
Okay. I
That
seen
spot
that. Yeah.
right there. Because this is
Okay.
basically making a rectangle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what I did was my logic being that I'm a scientist and I love math, this distance here,
Uh-huh.
from the bottom of the toe should be the same distance here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
So
would
that
be.
would give me straight down without screwing around.
Yeah. Yeah, but not if your toe was too long.
No, because if your toe is too long, this line just gets longer. This line here accounts for how long your toe is. It's the
This
same
one
length.
here.
I
This
get
line-
it, Janet, I get it.
This line right here,
Yep.
over here at the top,
Yeah.
takes into account how long your toe is. Your toe could be all the
Yeah.
way out to here.
Yeah.
And then your box, your thumb, you would just mark way out here, and then you'd hold it down to the ground. If your toe was now back over here, it would still account for the same distance and take you in.
Okay.
It's just a big square or rectangle.
Okay. So
Yep, that makes sense.
So whatever this length is right here from where you look down,
uh-huh.
you look straight down. Then when you're holding this horizontal to the ground,
To the end of your
touching
toe, right?
touching your hairline, which is
Uh-huh.
where you were trying to sight down the foot anyway,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yep.
Whatever this distance is, I mark it on the tongue depressor sticks out this way. I mark it with a magic marker right here where my eye says, I'm going to look straight down. There's the toe tip.
Okay.
I mark that
understand.
distance. Then I come flip the foot over,
Mm-hmm.
hold that black mark at the edge of the toe,
Uh-huh.
and wherever it lines up back here is the same distance to there. And that's where
Yeah.
your apex would be.
Well, okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to say there's a flaw in this reasoning. Okay.
There is?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Okay, so I'll do an example. Well, maybe
I'm
I
getting
can.
rid of all this stuff. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll do it over here.
Okay, go for it.
Let's say that, well, gosh, just a minute here. Let me get a different color. Okay, let's say now, what the heck is going on?
I should get out of this maybe.
Oh, I don't know if I was able, okay, I got it. Okay, let's say this is the toe of my foot here.
Okay.
Okay, well, if my toe was totally correct and my, anyway, let's just make this the toe.
Okay.
This poor horse ain't got no soul. Okay, all right, so you're coming up here and you're coming out here.
Correct.
We're looking straight down
I'm looking straight down with my eye.
from up here.
Right.
Okay, so straight down like so,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay, so then you would take this measurement here,
Correct.
okay, and you would turn it over.
Flip the foot over.
You would lift the foot over and you would take that measurement back to here,
Yes.
and that would be your apex. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, now that's good.
Because you were trying to draw a line visually doing the same thing, just going down the side of a curved hoof.
Okay, maybe I am, maybe you are right. Okay.
You were
but-
trying to do the same thing by taking a picture and getting a line that was doing the exact same thing here on a curved hoof, which is a little tricky because it's curved.
Okay. Oh, okay, I think you may be right. Okay. Let me
It's
do
just a
this.
square.
I
It's just a-
see. I see. Okay, well, I have to practice here. Okay, so let me do it in a different deal here.
So
'cause
like I said,
was
no matter how
thinking-
long your toe is, the box just changes how big the box is, but it still accounts for it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I just made it a geometric issue.
Yeah. Okay, let me try this out. Let's see. Okay, let's do
Now you're gonna do another one. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm gonna do another one. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
Your
so
popsicle stick goes straight out,
straight
level
up
with the
and
ground.
down.
There, you
Right
look down
there.
that way. I mean, it's all, how good you can hold the popsicle stick to the floor,
Yeah.
which you get really good at it after a while.
Well, yeah, maybe you need a level bubble.
Whatever, but I mean, in general,
know?
I got pretty good at holding it level.
Yeah. Well, I see how that works now. So then I would take this distance
Yep.
here.
Flip the foot over.
Okay, flip the foot over. Okay, yeah, you're right. I was thinking that it wasn't going to work because if your toe was longer, it was going to be
No, the
further
box
back
just
here.
changes how big the box
Okay,
is.
well, that's pretty darn cool. All
That's how
right.
I started doing it. And I tried
Yeah.
doing it your way. Oh my God,
Uh-huh.
it was a nightmare. When I
Oh.
tried this, I did it on my longer toed fronts. and
Uh-huh.
I did it on my shorter toed fronts. And honest
Uh-huh.
to God, it was like right with the measurements on where everything should be.
Wow, that's really awesome. Well, this is an awesome idea. Thank you.
Well, it was just, I couldn't handle doing it your way. I
Yeah.
had,
oh no,
my
I see.
lines
I'm going to
weren't
try this.
vertical, and like I had that apex all over the place.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm doing the same thing from the side.
Right. And I couldn't do it that way. I just gave
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Okay. I do see how this works now. Yeah, you are right. That is right on. That is.
I mean,
really cool.
everybody can do it the way it works for them, but this is the only way I found out to be even
No, I mean,
semi-accurate.
at first I was thinking, well, but if the toe is super long and you're looking down, it's going to be, then I was thinking the box would be way back here,
No.
but no, now I see it. I'm glad I did this.
Yeah,
know,
it works. It's just a box or a
Yeah.
rectangle, whatever it is. But I finally gave up the other way because I just couldn't get it. So
Yeah.
I thought, okay, let's just think about this in terms of math. It's a square. I'm making I'm making a visual square, which you just drew in.
Yeah. This is
So,
awesome.
And you could even hold like, you make whatever you could. I was trying to think of something I could build that I could hold it horizontal to the floor and then slide it along whatever that
Uh-huh.
horizontal piece is and slide it and know that it's also vertical. and make myself some kind of little tool that I could just change it no matter how long the toe is.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I think this is really great. This is a really great idea. I mean, I didn't understand it at first,
Right.
you know,
I tried to draw it out, but I gave up. But
Yeah.
it's just basically a square that you're
Uh-huh.
creating you're creating points in space using your
Yeah.
eye and the toothpick and then just marking it and going the other way.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's a great idea. You're brilliant.
No, I just gave up the other way.
Well,
I've got to figure this out somehow.
well, hey, this is really cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I remember I saw what you're doing, a little bit of what you're doing there, and I was like, it just wasn't computing in my brain, but now it is.
No, but yeah, I mean, like, so like you said, it doesn't matter how long the toe is.
Yeah, it
because
doesn't.
The top line will account for it.
It doesn't. I'm gonna have to go out and do this.
You know
That's
what,
good.
ladies?
You know,
Instead of doing a popsicle stick straight out from the top of the hoof like that, take the little measure gadget that we do for
Or
measuring
whatever.
everything
Yeah, I
and
just wanted something I
hold
could
that
write
straight
on. So I
out.
used a marker and just wrote where my eye went straight down.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
You know, I
But
just
you could
looked
take the little
straight down
slider
at the
thing
foot.
on the measuring.
Yeah, you could do
take
it
the
that way
slider
too,
thing.
but I just had a marker and a popsicle stick and it worked.
Well, that worked really good. That's awesome. Well, thank you.
Well, hopefully, it can help somebody else that was having problems the other way.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that you brought it up because I mean, my brain just wasn't hanging on to that. And then I was like, okay, I see now.
I
See,
gave up even
practice.
trying to do it the other way.
I mean, I gave up. I mean, you should see the mess I had. One side of the hoof, I had it way on one side. On the other side of the hoof, I had it too far forward. So I had this crazy ass angled line in the.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not working for me. I'm not doing well.
Yeah, well, that's really great and stuff. It's too bad. And maybe as everybody goes and stuff, people will keep finding different ways to figure out how to go straight from under there to there,
Straight down.
and
Because there's
stuff.
no tool that'll take into account the curve of the hoof, that'll curve on a hoof, and all the hoofs have a different curve to them.
Yeah. Yeah. for
You
sure.
couldn't even build something that would work on all hoofs because every hoof has a different curve.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And so, well, and here's the thing about it too. I try and tell people too, you do have to be careful because you could be too far this way or you could
Right.
be too far that way. And so this is just kind of one way to get yourself in a ballpark area.
Right. And
You
when I
know?
did it on both my feet, like I said, my front feet are a lot better toe lengthwise. My back feet are still bound really tight, so they're really short.
Uh-huh.
And it worked on both of them. I'm like, no shit.
Jeez, that's great.
It got me
yeah.
closer to anyway.
Well, good for you. That's awesome. And thanks for sharing that. I'm going to
Well,
try it.
hopefully it helps.
I'm going to do it. Okay. All right. So I can't remember where I was or what I was doing. All right. Well,
sorry, I
that's
did
it for
like
today.
Well, oh no, we were talking about, trying to figure out where your apex was and keeping this toe in the quarters in their proper
Yeah.
relationship.
How there's there's several different things you apply to get yourself in the general direction of, the general area.
You
But
should take a picture of this screen.
yeah, I did. And
Oh, okay.
I will post that. And, so there's
So
several.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
so Linda, so basically what you're saying with all the tubulars going the right way and everything, that your foot has to be ready for the periople and the frog to be worked on at the stage that you are working on yours.
That sounds good.
Does that sound
Oh,
correct?
God. Okay, well,
Like,
know,
let's say, or like, if you look at my pictures,
uh-huh.
is my foot ready to be hacking away at the periople and the frog and everything else? Because if I have my heels go whoop, whoop, all of a sudden they came up and the front of my foot was not ready, wouldn't the P3 just drop down?
Well, I don't necessarily think that
Like,
P3
I'd have to
will
have
always
good
drop.
soul.
Huh?
I'd have to have good soul. My tubulars would have to be in the correct, well, almost in the correct position.
Well, close. Because
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you still want to get your frog growing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that is still paramount to doing all of this, is getting a healthy frog that is renewing it, is your soul growing. You see, you want to get everything growing and moving.
What if we did it in stages?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, however you want to try it, you know, because look, you can't expect me to know all the details here, because
No.
this is something people have not done before. And I'm doing it on basically 4 horses, you know, and major on this one horse. All right. And just like following suit on the other 3. And so I haven't really got any, well, I've got some going on with the other 2 horses I do, as far as when I get over there, you know, as far as trimming these frogs, I've already seen how the back of their foot's starting to lift up, you know, stuff
Okay.
like that. And I don't really have any pictures of them though, but you know, I don't have every single answer for some of this stuff.
My thought was, as you're fixing the front, slowly start waffling away at it, but don't take it all off at once.
yeah, I don't think that's good either, to just take it all off at once.
You know, maybe start with just getting some of that excess periople out of the sulcus and slowly just starting to make a slow indentation.
Yeah,
And as you see the foot improving, slowly start taking more and more off and just thinning it so it doesn't have such a tight grip.
yeah, and so that it doesn't just boom release like that, because we've already seen some people where like it's real wet where they're at and the foot just decides to release, you know, and there's nothing for it to release into, you know,
Right.
because we are also growing the foot in, you know. And so like with Amanda's horse, this filly, just a minute here, me new share and go over there. Okay, there's nothing here for her foot to be in. You see what I'm saying? Look where the bulb is down here, and the capsule goes kind of like that. Okay, and so this bulb has to uncurl, and as it does, this wall in here has to be added in and be pushing up, this pulling up and depositing wall in here, to where there's wall to support this. I mean, look at the back foot here. How much is trimmed out of that capsule? See the arc and the growth ring there? You know, she's got a lot of wall that needs to be put into the capsule over here to release this bulb. So it isn't just the frog, but the frog is a big part of it. That frog has to be pushing this up for the growth of the hoof wall coming in right here to stay here and not be pushed down and out like that. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Linda,
oh yeah.
on that foot, the back foot there,
Uh-huh.
that's so bound. So how much can she work on the frog and the periople there?
Well,
Because it's not a lot of hoof caps. So.
yeah, I know. Well, I'm just not sure about that. You know, I just know that you're going to have to be working on that frog some and letting this all grow in here and kind of doing it all together. I will tell you this, that on my back feet, I had some of these same issues, and I just went to work on those frogs, getting them to renew, and the whole foot's been gradually doing that, because some of this here is heel that is
Mm.
also bent under. You see there? So some of it may just have to stand up. I don't know. That's pretty, look at the horn tubule here, how straight it is, but look at the inside. See, you could have one side that looks just like this, and then the medial side look just like that. Because you got 2 heels on each foot. So, and each one is independent. So, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you that. All I know is that
Mhm.
structurally, this is the stuff that's going on. And it's something we're going to have to learn. You know what I mean?
Like my back feet are still really bound. My front feet are a little bit better, but on all 4 of them, I just started with my knife, just creating a slight sulcus
Okay.
and just trying to get rid of some of the stuff that just looked like just dead, crappy,
Yeah.
grungy looking stuff. And then just trying to keep the frog trimmed to healthier frog and just watch and see what happens for a while and see how it improves, and then see if I can get more aggressive later. And just do it in stages and keep working on getting the heels to move back and getting the shape of my foot correct.
Okay.
And my bars, because my bars are still messed up too. So I've been like just incorporating part of the heel now, not going bananas on the periople. I've scraped it off of the back where I can, where it was grabbing hold. I took my knife and scraped it up like you're peeling, almost like you're peeling the skin off a peach.
Yeah.
That was fun. Cut myself a couple times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I know how
But
that
then,
is.
and like going after the whole hoof, like, cause you didn't do this to your horse until much later when with
Yeah.
what you were doing previous worked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like, I
except-
think a lot of us need to do what you were doing and just do a little bit on the frog and periople until we get to where Valor was, where you were like, okay, he's ready for me to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. And the thing is, and that's what I started doing on his back feet was he had no central sulcus at all. His frogs
I have
were
none.
Yeah, they were just flat, but I would look at the anatomy and I go, well, there's supposed to be a sulcus there. So I'm just going to start making one. And eventually, yeah, the back frogs started improving and the back feet started improving. But I didn't know at that time just how much the frogs were still binding the foot. But see, I had even a couple of years of just doing that. You know what I mean? But I think if I would have known more, I could have really screwed him up. No, yeah, whatever. I could
No,
have.
but I mean, if we just start getting the periople that's grown almost all the way up to the apex off and just getting to healthy frog for a while,
Yeah.
maybe making just a small sulcus.
Yeah.
And just trying to work our way down through and let it breathe enough and have enough flexibility that it can move a little bit instead of
That sounds
drastic
good.
moves.
Yeah. I think that's really wise and that sounds good.
Linda, could
Yeah.
you take a look at my photos that I sent you and just tell me where I'm at? Like, should I be hacking what out?
Okay. Yeah, we're hacks. Well, see, according to farriers, that's just what we are. We're a bunch of hacks out here. Unprofessionals hacking away.
No, I think gradual, slow and gradual, steady and gradual will keep them sounder and let the foot make slow changes rather than do something drastic and regret it.
Yeah, I think that is correct as well.
Yeah.
Because see, that is what I've been concerned about as well. Because I
want to be able to continue riding my horse through this entire thing too.
Yeah, exactly. So everything you said that's good policy. See, and stuff. It just really helps to have somebody else verbalize some of this stuff.
Well, you just can't go in and hack all of a sudden, and like it would be like cutting out part of one of the pillars of a foundation of a building and just going, well, maybe it'll stand, maybe it won't.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. See, it comes back to that structural stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
see,
like with the horse that I'm working on, Jesse, I've been with this, well, since what, 2017, 2018?
uh-huh. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So like, I think she's ready to have that back adjusted a lot more than what I'm doing.
mm-hmm. Okay, well,
But
let's
I
take
just
a
want to
look.
be, yeah, I just want to be sure.
And let's see here. I gotta find you. Okay.
Can I tell something? Hello, everybody.
Hi,
So,
yeah, input.
Finally, I mean, speaking about this kind of bound foot,
Uh-huh,
bound feet, bound hoofs, because I have always to do with this kind of feet.
mm-hmm,
I think we should have a strategic to do, because you don't have the material to work on these feet.
mm-hmm.
correct.
You have too little wall, too little space to work with. So I
Okay,
used to do some trimmings, some trims, once to take the heels a little bit clear and try to make them come a little bit backwards.
mm-hmm.
Then I try to have some sole in some places. Then I try to get rid of eventually white line problems, and then
Uh-huh,
go back to the heels. It's
uh-huh.
very difficult to deal with this kind of hoofs because you don't have material to work with.
Yeah,
I have 2 inches of wall, of toe wall length.
uh-huh,
What can you do when you have 2 inches of length?
On a
yeah,
regular
Nothing.
size horse,
Excuse me?
2 inches on a full size horse.
You mean-
Yes, 2 inches of a full size
you mean
horse.
excess or only 2
total.
inches?
The toe wall is 2 inches long.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's not much, huh?
No.
Well,
holy crap.
And I have to wait some time until this wall goes a tad
Uh-huh,
bigger, higher, so to work with it.
yeah,
And all the very bound feet are like the same.
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if my English is not.
No, I
Fine.
understand every word you're saying.
So
you
you have to wait, and you have to try every micro trim you try to do a little bit
Yeah,
of things.
yeah,
So it's not easy. You need long time to achieve what we are saying or
Yeah.
what we are trying to do.
yeah, it don't happen overnight, that's for sure. Like on that, what I'm telling you, what I've been doing with my frogs, I've been doing for a year and a half. You
Yeah.
know, and I started with just a little bit, and then as I learned more, I started doing more. You know,
And Benenitra is a guinea pig for TACT.
yeah,
I've tried so long, and I went on and back and forward and backwards. And we have these cracks to deal with.
yeah,
But now with the frog and periople trim, I see huge differences in very short time, but it needs to be done very cautious, very
cautiously.
cautious. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I think that too. And that is too why I started this group, because I just didn't want to share a bunch of this stuff and have everybody off running. Well, let's just do this, you know, and then feet just blown apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For example, I sent you on your messenger 2 photographs because I saw the video, the last video, and you were talking about disconnect the bar from the heel wall. And I have this crack coming and going
Well, I'm gonna
by
look at those
itself.
just a second here. We'll get back to your
Yes.
horse, Jolene,
Yep.
but I'm gonna look here quick. Just a minute. New share. Okay.
Since I started the frog and the Periople cleaning, you see the crack went down.
Yeah.
It's
Because
better now.
it's pulling this part. See, the crack is there because you got the same crack I have on Valor,
Yes,
and same foot too. And
yes,
so
the same
all,
foot, same cracks.
yeah. So remember, we're
And it's so long we had that.
yeah. And so as it lifts up the back of the foot, it's going to straighten out the lamina, which is going to help the horn tubules straighten out and come back, because this crack is there. Because when the heels are down like this, it put all these horn tubules pushing forward, and they pushed forward until they got right there. And then this one said, I'm not going nowhere. And they said, fine,
Yeah.
we'll just push past you, and they cracked. And
But
so,
you see how little hoof I have to work with.
oh yeah, because, and you probably got some you probably got missing some coffin bone as well right there, and some reshaped, demineralized remodeling of your coffin bone. That's
Yes,
why.
Ski tip coffin bone
Mhm.
on this hoof. But this photo, which I see now in the circle, there is always, it comes from the bars to the heels, it comes a crack there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And since this appeared, the whole hoof changed.
Since the crack appeared?
Yes,
That's interesting.
it seems that the heels were released more.
Are you talking about the crack down here at the bottom of the circle or up top on the
Yes.
heel?
It's exactly the spot where the bar meets the heel.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
Exactly there.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because last week I was thinking of actually
Yes, this
putting
is
a
why
crack
this
there
is,
on purpose.
Linda, this is why I sent you the photo.
Yeah.
Because I saw the video, the recorded video.
Yeah. And
this happens to my horse now. Now for about 2 months.
because I saw
And-
where the bars, because they're pushed forward, and so they can hold the heels there. But I mean, so it's interesting that now a crack appears there, but yet it seemed to have done good for the foot.
Yeah.
Mm.
The whole hoof now looks much better if you remember how it was.
Yeah. Yeah. What now? This side, was it more out?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
lateral.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. See, I really
It's
didn't get it.
the one with the crack in front, in the
Okay.
quarters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, to me, from what I saw before, she was much more flat-footed.
Yes, it was, yes.
Yeah. And so she's not as flat-footed.
No,
You
no,
know?
no, she's better. But
Yeah.
still, the hoof, the wall is very short.
Yeah. Well, you know,
And I mean, I do all the micro trims every week. So I have to correct a little bit here, a little bit there. And then the whole thing goes positively.
yeah. Okay. Well, see, that fits right in with everything that we were just saying and what Janet was just saying. Don't you think so, Janet?
Yeah, we just got to go slow
Yeah.
and make slow changes and let the foot adapt and keep changing with it.
Yeah, I like what Angelique called it, micro trims
Yeah, I've been trying
Yes,
to do
I
like
do every week.
every week. Yeah. Yeah,
Or
that
two
And
makes
weeks,
sense.
whatever.
unfortunately, we live in a very dry and hot environment.
Mhm.
That's an
And
understatement after being there.
well,
Oh, yeah,
Greece,
that's right.
Greek summer is very hot, so
Mhm.
it's impossible. Sometimes I just walk her in the sea, into the
Uh-huh.
sea, but the salt is not very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, the salt kind of dries stuff out too, probably,
Yes.
you know. But they have their own moisture in the hoof, and so even with it dry, I mean, you've seen some good changes.
Well, now the last 3 months, I have new hoofs, I must tell you.
That's wonderful because how long you been working on this horse?
Since 2016.
Yeah. Gosh, I thought it was
a long time.
before that. I thought it was before that because
Oh,
I mean,
maybe, yes.
because I've known you, I know since 2011 because you were
Ah, yes.
in other hoof groups, like were you in the Yahoo group and then other.
Well, I tried everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since we met, I am just here.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
that's
the fact is that she survived
mhm.
once she was condemned to be euthanized.
Yeah.
She's living. She's very, very happy. She's fat. She's sometimes she's working, sometimes with boots, of course.
Yeah.
But she has hoofs.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Well, and
Ah,
I'm looking at this foot. To me, it's looking good.
mm.
You know, I mean,
If
I'm
only it was a
seeing
bit longer.
something. Yeah, I'm seeing. Well, yeah, but I'm seeing something different than I ever saw before. Well, heck,
And
we got all these pictures here. Yeah,
yeah,
looky there. You know,
well,
so that looks good. You know.
well, Linda, if you remember, I had 2 abscesses every month.
Uh-huh.
And I was crazy putting casts and treating for abscess. And then when one abscess happened, then immediately came another one to all hoofs, not only this one.
I'm
You see?
going way back here.
Yeah.
I don't see, that's the thing I don't like about this part of Facebook is you go back on these pictures and you don't even know what date it is. Oh, so this ain't that far back because I'm already
I
sharing.
have archives of every
Yeah.
photo I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was one of them.
this is an amazing one here. I don't know if I'm gonna share. Can I share this with everybody real quick?
You can share everything I've sent you ever.
Okay. So this is a horse. Well, tell them about this horse here.
Well, this horse had a small, a huge accident, and the half of her hoof was off, was destroyed. She had no coffin bone, and she was to put down. And then a non-horse person came. He took her and asked me to help him if she could save the horse. So we waited until the wall came down, and now she has a hoof, a strange hoof, but she's perfectly sound.
Yeah,
That's the
look at
story.
her here. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And even though the coffin bone was gone, okay, the frog, all right, she has a great frog. What's that tell you?
and
See,
bulbs too.
and
Wait,
what?
wait. This horse has no coffin bone?
Not in
No
that
coffin
one
bone.
foot.
We have
See?
some photos, if you find it. We have some photos from the accident. No, before that.
Oh, before that, did you put them here?
How the
Yes,
hell is
yes,
this
yes.
animal walking around?
Yeah, that's amazing, ain't it?
Well,
Oh,
it
that's
took
what
us
her
2
foot
years.
looks like.
No, these are recent. Go back.
Recent, way back.
Well, yes, way back.
So
Yeah.
this animal is walking
No, no.
around like with no coffin bone.
No, not these ones. No.
Do you have them? Can you share them? Because I don't know where they're at. All I got was these ones.
Why is it green?
Probably have
Because
some
of,
medicine on it.
The sulfur, how do you call the bluestone we put?
The ionized
The
copper
pinky-
sulfate.
Copper sulfate.
Yes, and the pinky part is her inside lamina where the coffin bone was missing.
Wow. That
insane.
is so amazing.
All right, where's
You
the
know?
front of the foot? Is the back of the foot where the hand is showing?
Yes,
So deformed. So that's the back of the foot.
Mhm.
And then the
yes,
front is completely missing.
yes.
Oh my God.
But she has a good frog. And
And
look at this.
she has wall.
And she has wall and soul. It's
So
amazing.
what filled in the void where the coffin bone was?
Well, nothing. It was covered with laminar wedge at the beginning. And then the wall descended. And then the frog became bigger. And this is my marks where he could work on the hoof, and the red spots are the spots he couldn't touch at that moment. You see?
Yeah.
See, how
All
neat
the
is it?
front-
A non-horse person took this horse
Yes.
and saved it.
He's a sailor. He
How great
has
is
sailor
that?
boat.
How great is that? That's just a wonderful thing.
So
Yeah.
I'm still thinking, the coffin bone takes some space up. Like it takes some space up. So what filled that space in? The frog?
I don't
I'm
know.
wondering
I think
if it
laminar
was-
wedge or something, a substance. Anyway,
Something had to fill that space in.
Something in there. This is the foot.
Laminar wedge. Wouldn't laminar wedge fill in that space?
I don't know.
It does with the
Well-
hoof wall.
You know?
I
Yeah, I
know
don't-
that he took a boot of his son. He just cut the front part, and when the hoof was bleeding, and he put all the bandages inside, and
Uh-huh.
the horse wore this boot. He kept it for 3 months or 3-4 months, and she could walk on it. Not very well,
Wow.
but she could walk on it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then slowly, here you can see the part missing, the front part missing when she took off this substance and closed the hoof in front.
Wow. That just really is
But the back-
amazing.
Yeah,
See?
So that's the front of like the hoof wall, the dorsal wall, the front of the foot.
yes, this is the dorsal wall.
Okay, wow.
And she's jumping and she's galloping around and she's crazy, this little filly. She's a mare. Yeah.
That's incredible because
Yeah.
no vet would believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I was sure that she would recover, because she had the the coronary band intact. And I said, let's try.
Yeah.
So he did what we decided, and you know, the problem is that he lives in an island very far away. He
Mhm.
lives in Lesbos, and
Mhm.
I am in Peloponnese. So we just sent pictures to each other, and we talked by the phone. I never saw the horse.
Isn't that great?
That's the funny thing.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah,
You know,
I have many this kind of clients. you
Yeah.
know?
No, this horse in particular should be documented just because nobody would believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
like that would be like, you're out of your mind.
But every
Wow.
now and then, that's it. That's her. At the beginning, she was walking, but not very well. And then she began to run around.
see, this is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
I still can't believe a horse can walk around without that last bone.
Isn't that something? You know,
Well, it
that's,
seems that they have possibilities that we don't know yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's just there for aesthetic purposes.
I
It
doubt
would
it.
be
but-
interesting to see an X-ray of that foot.
Yeah,
We
I
can do it
know.
without the tip
I
of our
have a
finger.
full archive of all the ongoing of her foot. I mean, I have something like I don't know, 500 photographs of her of
Wow,
this foot. Yeah,
that is so wonderful.
yeah, and you know, her the person who owns her, the owner, now taught her to ring a bell when she wants a carrot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yes, I have the video. It's very funny. I'll send it to you.
Well, she's a
And he
cutie.
says, Bell, Pocahontas, ring the bell, please. And she goes into the feeding room and she rings the bell. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
So what kind of horse is this?
it's a Greek horse.
Yeah, a Greek horse. So,
It's a side walker.
mhm. And they've been around for how many thousands of years?
Many,
Yeah.
many.
So these horses, this horse descended from horses that conquered the world.
Well, the known
Right?
world back then.
Yeah, the known world would have conquered the
Yeah.
rest of it too if he wouldn't have been nuts. You know,
Yeah.
would have been nuts and died early. But gotta watch that drinking. But I mean, if you ever find anything that talks about how the only time they slowed down was when they had to stop for 2 weeks. I read this somewhere. They had to stop for 2 weeks and let the horse's feet grow.
Yes, Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
It is written in his memoir.
Oh, is that where it's at?
Arianos. Excuse me?
When I said that's where it's at in his memoirs.
Yes.
Okay.
Arianos, who is the historian that wrote his, he went along in his way to India, and he wrote everything about his battles and about how he conquered. And Arianos says that the horses had to stop for 15 days after some distances. And so they grew their hoofs, they get some rest from the war, and they went on.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
See? And
you know, the amazing thing when I went to Vergina Museum, and I saw all the equipment they
Mhm.
used to wear to their horses. They had only the mouth equipment
Mhm.
and the reins,
Uh-huh.
and no saddle, no shoes.
Well, yeah, and that's what you see in those reliefs too. You see them
Yeah.
bareback, what we would call bareback,
Yes, they
You know.
went bareback
and
and just a cloth or something on.
yeah,
And no stirrups, no nothing.
How many, I mean, think about all the different nationalities. Indians have ridden that way. The Arabs rode that way for a long time. Everybody rode that way.
yeah.
Well, stirrups and the saddles, I think, is a German idea. Ah, look now, look how she runs. Look.
See,
Yeah.
The funny thing is that she jumps and she kicks and she does everything. I don't know.
It was her front foot, right?
no, back foot.
Yes.
Was it the
No,
front?
no,
or
the
the back?
front.
Front.
It was a front foot. I thought it was a back foot.
I
No,
can
no,
see
it
the
was the
scar.
front.
So that's even more weight bearing than the back.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, all this time I've been thinking it was a well, look at here. This, what is, see?
That's a tail.
I know. So that's why I thought it was a back foot.
Yeah.
That looks like a back foot.
No, no,
The
it's
way,
a
the way
front.
it's being held, that's a back foot.
Maybe that's a different
But
picture.
then there it looks,
Like a front foot.
there it looks like a front foot.
When you, there was
maybe-
a picture of her standing and you could see the scar on her front foot in the picture.
Huh.
You can see the scar line. It's white. I forget which
See,
picture.
I thought it was
Which-
this foot here. Because the way she's walking on it, I mean, it's still not fully normal. See it? That foot there.
It's the one right closest to the fence in the front.
Huh. Oh, well.
I
can see
think
the
that she
scar.
went under a metal door and she put one side because she was wounded in the back foot too, but not that seriously.
Oh, okay. So her back
And
foot.
she put her hooves under the metal door, and when she wanted to get free, she just cut the whole hoof.
Damn.
Huh. That's
Oh.
amazing.
Yeah. It was a
Don't ever
nasty.
do that again.
Well, I hope so.
Hmm.
But she was very young. I mean, now she's 5 or 6 something.
Yeah.
And it went on. I know this horse for about 2 years and a half.
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay. Well, it's an amazing story. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you have anything else you wanted to share? And then I'm gonna go back to Jolene's
No, not
horse
for
here.
now. Not for now.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you. You know, I mean, what you shared about that crack and stuff too, it's just very helpful.
Very interesting.
Yeah, see, I mean, you can see that this foot is improving, you know, and that's why I say the frog. So the frog on that other horse, because that horse has a relatively decent frog in the back of the foot, telling you, when the back of this foot here gets pulled clear under, it just is not mechanical. It is better for them to lose a coffin bone than for the back of this foot to be taken away from them.
When I'll be back home, because now I'm on an island and I don't have my archives with me,
Mhm.
I'll make an album to
Okay.
show these hooves the front of Benenitra,
Okay.
went through many things.
Yeah.
They went from totally underrun hills to totally no soul, to totally no bars, to
Uh-huh.
totally no cartilages. So
Jeez.
I'll make an album and I have all the archives to show everybody.
Okay, that'd be great. We'll do that when it's just whenever you're
One-
ready and we're doing these, you can share it, okay?
Okay, Linda, one more time, I want to thank you because this animal is alive because of you, really.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those good words. Well, you're doing a great job with her and you've helped, and there's lots of animals over there alive because of you. See? So, and then we all wind up sharing stuff back. It's going to enrich all of our knowledge here. Look at what we learned about finding the apex today. And I was like,
We'll go on. This is only I have to say, we'll go on, but
yep,
we have to work together and put everything together and present something really
yeah,
important for the
Right.
world of the horses.
yeah, something really substantial.
Yes.
You know, say I was thinking of that this week about, or just the last 2 weeks about, you know, when you read the history, you read Bracy Clark or George Fleming, and you read, you know, people have down through the ages seen what a disaster farriery is. And same with barefoot trimming, it's all the same. And they've written about it, but there has been no change because even though like Bracy Clark invented some things, but he still never knew the true foot of the horse, the structure. I mean, he made some discoveries and he did some good things, but he was still in error on things. And same with barefoot trimming and wild horses, you know, still in error, gross error, in fact. And but now see, we have something real and genuine to offer. You know, working the bugs out, learning these things, something real that is genuine. See, and that is what makes a difference, I think, you know. And it was interesting reading Bracy Clark because he told them, you know, as far as the whole vets and even back then, and the farriers, he said the only change has been when you accepted information on lowering the frog. He said you won't change. That's what he says in his book. He talks about how they won't change. They're stuck in their ways. These, I'm paraphrasing here. The only change they ever made was when they accepted some guy named LaFosse or something like that. When he told them they needed to put the frog on the ground, then they all started doing that, and that crippled untold numbers of horses and people because it makes lame horses. And of course, lame horses trip and fall, which kills people, right? So, well, back then, especially because you had more riders, right? So it's the same today. It's amazing. It's like they just repeated that whole thing that happened 200 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
with the barefooters coming in. Oh, got to lower that foot. Isn't that weird? Like,
No, it's not weird because it's about money, Linda.
mhm.
Unfortunately, everything is about money.
Yep,
You
that's
have
true.
to deal with a very serious factory. They
Mhm.
work just to earn, and they do little just to earn more. This is
Yeah.
what I know.
Yeah,
I never took a cent out of these years, and I tried to show people what is the wrong with
Yeah.
their farrier job here.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with people who just don't care.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same over here with people, just
Yeah.
depends on who, what, and where, So,
Well,
okay, well,
but
it
we
is,
have to do what we have to do. So that's it. We'll
Yeah.
do it no matter how it goes.
yeah, we're on
Everybody
the home
listens.
stretch here, I think,
Oh.
to be able to really show some stuff and help people, help horses. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Jolene's horse and let's see, where am I at and what am I doing? Okay. I'm going to have to write it in just a minute. Do a new share. New share. Oh, wait a second. Oops.
While you're looking for pictures, I have a question concerning pictures. Do
Okay.
you want us to really put tons of pictures onto that Facebook page, or you just want us to do it every so often?
Like once a month, or if you notice some big change, or you have
Okay.
something that you observe or something like that. But I think once a month is enough,
Okay.
And
We'll have our pictures elsewhere if we need to
Yeah.
pull them up in between.
yeah, yeah. See, I had a forum that I kept for years, okay, with so many records and so many stories. And then somebody, I can't remember if I lost a oh yeah, somebody absconded with my debit card, okay, and ordered a bunch of stuff, so I had to cancel it. Well, I didn't realize I was paying for that forum out of that debit card. So then I hate email. I never go check it, and they were writing me saying, we're going to close you out. We're going to close you out. And I guess I never saw it. And so they erased my whole thing.
Oh, it wasn't backed up anywhere.
Nope, it wasn't. So, but whatever. It is what it is, no use crying over all that. Because I'm sure there's people around that come and give their stories again. So, I'm good at this research and doing this. I'm not all that good at all the secretarial stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, I had Jolene, but I lost her. Just a second.
You lost her. She's right there.
There we go. Okay. Okay. I got to tell you, it's even hard to keep up with one horse. And so, you know what, Jolene, why I thought of you and had you join this groups, because I remember helping you. And see, along with some people I saw, they really, the horses really improved, and others just kind of seemed to stay there. They might have got some heel, but their feet just kind of stayed there, and that's the way I feel your horse has been. He just kind of stayed there. And
Dolly is one of those stay there horses too.
yeah, Dolly too, and so then when I kind of glommed onto this whole what's going on with the frog and the Periople and the central sulcus thing, and I started seeing the change in my horse and remembering back helping you guys, I was like, yeah, this just might be the answer for that. And then as I started looking at feet, I was seeing the same type of binding that I just was not seeing before in the same way. And so, I see that in your feet. I see that these feet are bound and that the capsule is contracted, and that also when that happens, it really condenses the sole tubules, so you get real thick, hard,
Cracked.
so cracked sole. See, and like this skin right here that you see that's kind of whitish,
Yep.
that's periople that should not even be on the bottom of the foot. See? And so look at your funny little hole here.
Εδώ κοριτσάκι μου, κοριτσάκι μου.
Just a minute here. Let me save this image and enlarge it. Up. Just a second here.
No.
Somebody's
come on.
not muted. I'm going to have to mute you. Let's see. Mute. Okay. A second. Oh, I lost you again. Just a second. Okay, just a second. Okay, I'm right. All right. So, I mean, you can look at this foot here, right here, and you can see that the whole back of the foot is pulled way under and bound under there. And when you look at, well, here even, see, I mean, this is supposed to be clear out over here, like so. This far back, so you're missing a good fourth of the size of this foot. So look here, see the white skin right here, that's periople skin. All this is periople growth, you know. This is all just, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if periople is grown all along the sides of the frog here. See, as well. Okay, so just very pulled down, pulled under, very distorted. Your bars need, all your sole and bars. Oops. Well, this is what's happening, see? Pull, all that's being pulled in there. And again, here's my horse when I started trimming this up, you know, cleaning it up. So you're going to have to start thinning down, getting rid of some of this excess sole and cleaning up these bars. Just a minute. Let me save this. Flip it around.
Now, those are her hinds. Those are the back feet.
Okay.
Her fronts, I think, are a little better
Okay.
because I've actually worked on them kind of like
Yeah.
2 to 1.
And see, I remember when I would do the fronts and just hope for the best for the backs, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's when my frogs just got totally petrified back there, and they got everything got way trimmed out more than what I even knew, and stuff like that, you know. But okay, so you know that on these bars, to correct this, you got to come through here like that, through this part of the bar right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to do all 4 feet in a day and stuff. Pick a day to work on each foot. Even maybe just one thing, you know, you can come in here and just do the frog and the bars to get them, start getting them going. Just getting some, you know, that's the frog trimming is most dangerous when it is the most petrified, because you can be pulling on that and slip, you know, cut
Yeah.
your horse, cut you, you know. So make sure that you use 2 hands on controlling that knife, because that will keep you from cutting yourself, you know. Yeah, trimming can be dangerous, so you're gonna have to come in there, start cutting just this dead stuff off, mark your bars like what I'm doing, and come in here and take this bar off. Maybe just do that on all 4 feet, like over 4 days, or do 2 feet, see, because you don't have to do the whole trim either. You could start with just getting these bars cleaned up, getting this frog cleaned up,
Okay.
getting the dead stuff off, getting some of this. Then the next day, get some of this sole out, and maybe some of the wall down or something. Okay. Okay. I keep losing you.
Why?
It's my computer. I'm gonna, oh, no, I lost you again.
As you're doing that, I'm pulling up on my phone pictures of my guy's hinds, and I'm like, ooh.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see.
I'm like,
I'm looking at mine too, and it's like, yikes.
and like comparing it to this one, and I'm like, oh dear Lord.
Jolene, is this a front foot? No, that's
Nope,
a right
that's
hind.
your left hind.
Okay. Well, you see how you ain't got no central sulcus, really. You just got this funky little hole here. And that is always a sign that all the bulbs and the whole sulcus of the frog has been pulled under the foot. See, and this black stuff, that's always a sign of super dead petrified frog. So same thing, on this foot, start working on that.
But I have friends who swear that thick black yucky stuff is supposed to be there. That is the strong frog, and that is healthy, and that's what supports the horse. And I'm like, oh, where do I
Yeah.
start?
Yeah, where do you start because that's what they've been told.
I know.
They've been told a line of BS 100 miles long, because these guys are trying to come up with a way to explain what they're doing, and it is so much crap.
Now, I've seen some farriers who never touch the bars of the frog.
Yeah,
And
my
I've
God.
seen other farriers who take their knife and cut that frog down to almost nothingness
Yeah.
before they chew.
Yep.
So, I mean, some farriers do, like literally take it down to solid yellow waxy frog. They never
Yep.
work in the back, but they take that frog down to nothing.
Yeah.
But they're chewing them. So they're just, I've seen, from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
I'm
I know
like,
what you mean.
Can you find her front feet?
I'm trying. Let's see. I'm trying. Look at all these pictures here. Is that a front?
No,
no, it
that's a
says
left hind.
LH. It's a hind.
Okay. Is that a front?
It hasn't
I
changed.
can't, we can't see nothing.
Oh,
It didn't
wait a minute.
change.
It didn't change.
Okay, new share. Do you see it now?
Yep,
his
that's your left front.
Okay. Okay. Did that change? See?
Yeah.
Yep, and that's,
Yeah, your her feet are so
Can you make
bound.
that bigger?
Yeah, I'll have to save the image and then enlarge it. Just a minute here.
Even with my horrible eyesight and on a computer, I'm like, eh.
Just a minute. Oh, new share.
I'm glad you know what you're doing. I haven't figured this all out yet.
Oh, I
There.
forget.
I get
Okay,
so confused.
so very, very bound capsule, very bound dead frog, just all the stuff we've been talking about,
okay.
So on this foot, to be things to work on gradually to start with,
Mhm.
would you start with, it looks like there's a lot of dead crap in
Yeah.
that sulcus. Take a little of that out, maybe, start working on, like, I don't even see the bars in this picture.
Yeah. And the sole too. See,
The sole looks very chunky, filled in from being
Yeah.
compressed.
Yeah, so you have to start thinning that out. You have to start getting things alive again.
So by
Say-
thinning out the compressed, chunky, waxy, cracked up sole, just by thinning it out, even if you just scrape it with the knife, will that start letting things move a little bit more?
Yes. Yeah, and you definitely have to exfoliate the sole. Because you've got to get the hoof capsule to want to widen up. Okay, and as long as you
Okay.
have a dead sole in there, it's not going to do that. Just-
Believe it or not, she grows that dead sole within 3 weeks.
oh, I believe it because
Yeah,
bec-
just crazy.
yeah, because okay, so if her hoof capsule should be this big, but it's been compressed to this big, then you've taken all those sole tubules and you've condensed them into a smaller area. Okay. And so,
Okay,
they're growing thicker, and I don't know about faster, but they're definitely thicker and stuff. So yeah, so you have to keep that thin down. You have to keep that down to live sole, and keep this trimmed out, thinned out, and the bars. Well, see, let me annotate here.
See how cracked up it is up by the apex even?
Yeah, that's
All up in
all.
there? Is that all extra sole?
Yeah, that's all dead sole. It's what you call retained sole, where
Yeah.
it gets so hard and compact it looks like live sole, and so people are afraid to remove it.
What about scribing where all that thick sole touches the inside of the wall?
Yeah, you could start doing some of that too.
I did a little bit where I would just go around with the knife and just take a little bit out and just try to break those connections right
Yeah.
at the edge.
Yeah, and I think that would be a good thing to do as well. So,
okay.
let's see here.
What about with really thin soles? Because when Dolly's feet were x-rayed in April, her front soles are less than a half-inch thick under the coffin bone.
Well then you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I
See?
haven't been scraping anything off her soles.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. I mean, because her foot's different than this foot. Her foot is more bigger. I don't think she's super contracted or anything, is she?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now,
And
how
so
long? Wait, back up. The horse you're talking about, does she have a normal length dorsal wall? Or is it
Dolly?
Yeah,
short?
Yeah,
three, this one here, you mean?
No, the one, well, what's this one's dorsal wall? Because I keep using the dorsal wall to tell me kind of how thick I'm dealing with sole.
3 inches.
And what about the other horse with the thin x-rays?
Dolly's dorsal wall at that time was over 3.5 inches.
And she only had half an inch?
Yes, ma'am.
Damn.
No
So
kidding.
She was super contracted then?
No,
more bound in the back of the foot, because this here has an effect on how much sole you have too. If the back, on
Yeah.
this type of foot, it won't seem to, because the hoof wall's so contracted and smaller than it's supposed to be. So squeezing the foot together and stuff, but Dolly's foot wasn't like that. Wasn't
No,
contracted like that. It was just pulled under behind, and the heels won't stand up, right?
yeah, and when I bought her, she had long toes, low heels, and we've been battling with it
Yeah.
for 5 years. So
Yeah. So anyway, Jolene, you're gonna have to trim these bars. See, I'm doing it different. I'm not and it's working better. Let me do a different color here. Okay, instead of going up from here like so, you're just right on that. Okay.
Okay,
But that's not what I'm doing anymore. And I think what I'm doing is helping to be more accurate, and move the
doing a
bars
crisscross.
back better. Yeah, where they crisscross.
Okay,
Where am I at here? Clear. I'll try. Okay, which would be on the side of the frog up into this here. So that's going to take this down at least to there to start out with. See?
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, just start getting your frogs alive, getting your souls cleaned out. That's where to start, getting things living again.
Now,
okay.
the dead soul versus the healthy soul, when
Mhm.
you're scribing out, even if you're just using a knife and scraping, how do you know when you're kind of there by color?
See, sorry
Don't
to
you
tell
see the
people.
white line?
Oh, well, you look at the white line, but you got a soul ridge there. Definitely. So your soul ridge is out here, but right here is what I call the bowl of the soul. And then you push too. You push. Now, unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell people because on this kind of soul, it can look live and waxy when it's really dead because it's compressed soul. See? Live soul is waxy and not crumbly, but on a contracted foot that retains soul, see, a lot of times you have a whole layer of soul that just come out in one chunk. So, I don't know how to explain that to people yet, to tell you the truth. I know that I can tell live soul from retained soul and what needs exfoliated, but how to always explain that to other people, I don't know. Live waxy is different than what you would call it.
I mean, if I see cracks and fingering and, it's just kind of like really easy to get out with a knife,
Yeah,
like
that-
really easy, I figure it shouldn't be there.
yeah. But sometimes like her, like I'm looking at this, and it may be that if she started to dig into this, it might look like live soul, but I bet she's got a whole layer here that it just don't even probably need to be there.
But then that would facilitate, once you fill all that out, that would make your walls really tall compared to the soul.
Yeah, so you'd want to take your walls down. See, that's why you scribe too, so you can find the live soul plane, so you kind of know where to take your walls about too.
Okay,
Why don't you now that I shared some pictures on scribing?
yep,
Yeah. So why don't you do a little bit of that there? Clean up the stuff that's cracked, trim the bars, trim the frog, and once you clean it up, you start getting an idea of what's going on.
okay. If, if the apex of the frog still looks sunken in compared to the soul level,
That tells you got depth of soul too. That's right.
so, okay, so should I take a little bit more soul off so the apex looks not so-called flush, but a little bit more protruding?
No,
Or should I,
not necessarily.
okay,
Not necessarily.
I had that going on and I tried something where like my apex looked like it was dug into the foot.
Mhm.
deep.
yeah,
So I each week took my file and rasped the whole toe from the quarters forward down a little bit a week.
That's good. I've done that too. And I think
Just a
that's
little bit, and slowly
Yeah.
started getting the apex of the frog to be more not so dug into the foot. So
yeah.
I started making my toe, my dorsal wall shorter, just a little bit at a time.
That's a really good idea. And
And-
you know
and
what
did
else
you-
that does? It stands your horn tubules up more.
Which was
I don't-
weird then, because as I did that, I got a crack in the quarter on the one foot as it was like on, okay, now I'm going to open up and expand, but I can't because the capsule was too small.
Uh-huh.
And then literally I just got a crack and I dug it out a little bit with the knife just so it wouldn't keep cracking up. Because
Mhm.
I think as I did that, it let the foot move and the capsule was like too small now.
Uh-huh. Huh.
So it cracked. I'm like,
Okay.
well, that's interesting because it happened right after I did it.
Well, see, and I've seen that too in my horse's feet. They'll just get like these hairline cracks. Was it like a hairline crack?
No, it became a little bit more than that pretty quick.
Uh-huh. Ah,
And I'm like, well, that crack wasn't there until I started cleaning up that toe
Yeah.
and trying to get rid of that. And I thought, well, the capsule must just be too small. So it just gave up.
and so it just maybe
up the ghost. It
expanded
just
a little bit
cracked.
there. Yeah, that's interesting.
I was like, well, I mean, it happened almost right after.
Yeah, you see what the difference is with us doing our horses and observing these things. Farrier is like, well, you know, that's like somebody that's he blows in, he trims your horse, and then he's gone.
I just figured, the foot had to like give
Yeah.
somewhere. So that's where it gave. And
Yeah,
as long as it didn't go all the way up and make a major problem, I thought, well, I'll just keep it cleaned up and
yeah,
try to keep that remember the notch thing?
yeah,
The notch to me is those notches that show up or when the hoof capsule is just too small and something wants to expand and
wants
it
to
can't.
expand and break or something.
And it can't. So it just starts cracking to give itself room to expand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and like we're just saying, Angeliki showed that that crack on her heel
Right.
and how
I
how the
figured it
foot
wasn't a
changed.
bad crack. I just figured it just needed to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's great. Yep.
But that's what I did with my toe like this on my backs.
Okay.
And I'm slowly starting, I think I've only started doing it for like the past month where I was like, oh, the hell with it. I'm just going to see what happens. And started taking the wall down, the dorsal wall, because I was at like 3.5. So I eventually got it down to like 3.25.
Uh-huh.
And, started leveling that out and then getting the whole foot in alignment with that new toe height to see what happens now as I work with the back of the foot. Can I unbind it, changing the front and then going after the back and try to open the whole length of his foot up and just try to get it longer and bigger.
Well, that sounds great.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
He's
see, you got good ideas there.
He's sound. He's still walking on these puppies and I'm riding them.
Hey, well, that's what counts. So we'll listen to you.
Uh,
Okay,
But I
that
just
sounds
figured-
good. And I think that's a really good idea. And you're good at expressing your ideas. And I appreciate that.
No, it's just, I was like, I couldn't get rid of this, the apex being dug into the hoof. I
Yeah.
couldn't get rid of it. And I'm like, I don't know how to get rid of this other than I have a lot of dorsal wall. So I'm going to take some of it off and see what happens.
Yeah. See, that's a great idea. Because I really
Oh.
didn't see, I had Molly, and her feet were kind of like this. But I mean, I really took her soles down. And so her foot did expand, but I might have done it too much back then. But I really like your idea.
I just went after that
start-
toe for now and then just kind of blended it in with the back
Yeah.
of what I already had.
Yeah, like taking off a little slice.
Yeah, in the front.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to keep playing with the foot now and try to unbind it some more, doing that and get rid of some more of that excess sole. And I started scribing around what I had left,
Uh-huh.
trying to release that crap, all
Yeah.
that extra sole from the foot. Because
Yeah.
I figure it's just grabbing hold of it like glue and everything's just kind of glued together. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I'm going to try to clean it up.
Well, see that I think you're all right about that. And I think that's a good idea. And I think that's something you should think about doing, Jolene.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, all I can do is wait and see what happens with his
Uh-huh.
backs because his backs are compared to his fronts, his backs are so much more bound. And that's because he was a complete asshole about me working on his back feet.
Yeah.
And we're getting better. I mean, we've just had some words about how long he's going to stand there.
Yeah.
And no, really. And he kept grabbing it from me. And I would spend all my time on the fronts because he was more behaved. And I'm like, finally, I'm like, no, dude, you're just, I'm done fighting with you. You're going to keep your foot in the hoof stand, whether you like it or not. And I started just getting into battles with him about who's in charge of that back foot. And getting his work done. Oh no, I got tired of it because I wasn't spending the amount of time on the back feet that I should.
Yep.
Because he was just
Yeah,
being a complete
exactly.
jerk.
Yeah. Good for you. You took charge.
Well, I got tired of it. I'm like, he let me do
Yeah.
it once, but I got to the back and he's like, no, you can't have it. And I'm like, I would hold that sucker for so long and so high that finally it quivered. And I'm like, are you done screwing with me?
I know exactly what you're doing.
And I'm like, I made that thing quiver to the point where when I put it in the hoof stand, he's like, oh, thank God. She put
Thank
it down.
God. Yeah, I'll
Oh,
keep it
you go.
here. Yeah, it's like, you don't want to put it there? Fine. Hold it up here.
Oh, I did. I mean, we got into some real battles and I'm like, I'm not giving it up. He wouldn't kick me. He just wouldn't let me have it.
Uh-huh. That's awesome.
So now I'm starting to, now that we've had some words about how long I can work on those, I'm going to try to be a lot more vigilant on the back feet now.
Yeah, well, great.
Well, this is
That's
it.
how
If
my
they're not,
hind feet got so out of whack with the front feet in rehab.
Uh-huh.
I just couldn't work on them.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of it. I'm like, guess what?
Guess what? It's my foot. You're gonna put it right here.
Oh, he's had a couple good kicks to the hiney too, you know.
well, and the thing is, if you can't work on them, then they really get out of shape and
Right.
out of
Yeah.
You
balance.
can't work on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you don't do 100% of a full trim, then they're always lagging behind.
Right.
And
That's
that's-
where I got.
yeah.
And finally, I'm like, it's a
Yeah.
behavior issue. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would
I
look at
hear-
Baylor and I swear to God, that horse will stand there with his foot all day in that thing. And I'm like, how'd you do that? Your horse just stands there all day with the, oh, my horse did not like the Dremel or the grinder thing. We have to do some desensitizing on that one.
Really?
Oh, he didn't like to feel it. He didn't mind the sound, but when he felt it, he's like, yep.
Nope.
Oh yeah, he broke the halter and he left. I'm like, okay.
Oh boy.
So we have some work to do there. Not every horse apparently is going to be like thrilled with that feel at first, the way it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was different than me taking a knife to it. I don't think he liked the way it felt, and I'm just gonna have to keep working at it until he
Yeah.
gets over it.
He'll get it. And the thing about it is what was I gonna say? I forgot from 1 second to the next.
You know
Is-
what? If he has a sore spot, because my little pony, he's only 4 now, but he didn't like the Dremel or the hoof spots. And what I did, I was massaging him with it on his rump. And oh, he just thought that was grand. And then I went down further and further. And then now finally he's good with all the electric tools.
Oh, that's good. And another thing is go out and work with them when you're not going to trim them.
Right.
You're
I was
just
just gonna go over
specifically,
and turn it on and then just
Yeah.
touch his foot with it.
Yeah.
Touch his foot with it. And touch his foot with it. Until he's just like ignoring it.
yeah,
Desensitizing him basically.
yeah, that'd be good.
He doesn't mind the sound of it being turned on next to him. He just didn't like the way it felt.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to get over that too.
It's like the dentist drill.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean,
this
it's
here
just a
that-
matter of, I have the tool, you're gonna learn to get over it.
So
You
this
know.
here, Linda, that you've done a markup. Now that's the Periople coronet band, right?
Yeah, and these here should be clear out here. So
Okay.
see, these are the back of the foot, the bulb. Let me get a picture in there. Hold Yanni. Hold Yanni. Oops. Great.
You know what also confuses me on these feet? When do we lower the heels and lower them, even though we know lowering them is not good, but at some point we need to lower them to bring them back? Is she
Well-
at that point with these?
Yeah, I've been doing that like every so often. I'd take them down to 1 3/4 inch, and just growing them from a little further back, but not too much so that I'm just changing the whole angle of the foot, and years ago, I wish I could find the article again. Some gal was talking about how she corrected underrun heels. And she went back and forth from taking more toe to taking a little more heel, leaving heel, taking more toe. Then the next time, taking a little more heel and leaving more toe. But she just kind of went back and forth.
Well, you have to give them something to walk on.
Well, yeah, but
I mean,
And-
I look at my side shots and I'm thinking, I think it's time. It just looks out of whack. It's like, it looks like I should lower the heels a little bit since I haven't done it for a while.
well, you're probably right. See, the reset.
You know, we're all afraid to touch the heels now, like completely.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's like, don't touch the heel, don't touch the heel, don't
Yeah.
touch the heel. But at some
Which
point,
I
we
never
have to.
said that. See,
No,
but other people have. And I'm like, no, you gotta still trim the heels. You just aren't gonna want to trim them way down like we used to. And because you're wanting enough of the wall to bear weight in the heels so that the growth will stay at the top of the capsule. See, like it's a form of hoop wall jamming almost, except you're replacing capsule wall by allowing the wall to be a little longer in the heel area to lift up the back of the foot and push the growth up. So anyway, well, I'm going to have to sign off for today. We'll have another one Wednesday. Yeah, because it is now 3:15, so I've been here 2 hours, and I'm going to try and keep these down to 2 hours and stuff. So I think we talked about some good things, and I know people listen and they'll get some good ideas too, and people are going to be learning things. Now TACT is general, and the mapping and all that, you still have to use your own judgment on things. It's not, exact here and there. So you're the ones that you get to know your horse and things like that. Some of you ride, some of you don't. Some of you can't because your horse's feet went bad years ago. And so a lot of this is as you learn and practice, you're going to try different things on your own and you're going to see it work. So there's general principles, but there's no hard and fast rule. There is hard and fast anatomy that we're learning, that we know the horse's foot, but how to always get there on our individual horse. See, that's the hardest thing for me, is that I know where I'm at, but not everybody's going to be in the same place. So I can't always tell you exactly do this, that, and the other. I can give you the mapping, I can give you the general principles. You learn to do a basic trim and then learn the corrective principles from there. And that's
I
about
think
it.
we'll all get braver too as we work more at it.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, you all want just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. You're done.
Yeah.
A step by step.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
the
hard to
mapping
do.
is- Yeah, the mapping is the beginnings, but like we've all got to, as we all start in this group trying to figure out what we need to do on our kind of hoof, then somebody else might have that same kind of hoof and go, oh, it worked on you. Let me try it on my guy.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's great. See,
So I think we're all going to have to get a tad bit braver in some of the chances or things we want to try,
yeah,
and just, if it didn't work, it didn't work. Go, yeah, don't do that again.
oh, well,
Um,
yeah. It's like, before I realized we were trimming to the distortion of the frog, on the back feet. Like I said, I didn't really trim the frogs all that much, but my frog had grown over into the collateral groove and was pushing the bar and the heel out, but I just kept trimming to where it was growing to, and
yeah.
then one day I decided to take that frog over because I started trimming frogs more. And when I removed the frog, I seen the bar is broken off, clear down at the bottom of the collateral groove. So I've been trimming this and it was hidden from me and I was just keeping it there. So
Yep, we all got to learn.
yeah. So I had to take that bar. I took the whole bar off. I thought, well, what am I supposed to do with it? And so I just went ahead and took it off and it really worried me. But it took about 3 months. I'd go out there and look nothing. Finally, one day I went out there and it was like the bar appeared overnight and had grown back. you know, but yeah, I know what you mean about that bravery. Getting brave and, you know, it's all without practicing, you know, you won't. So you'll get lots of practice in and it will improve.
Hopefully, you know, everybody else in the group slowly starts, jumping in and trying to do some different stuff. I know we're all really busy,
Yeah.
and trying to catch, like, I couldn't watch the first 2 sessions and I caught up. I wanted to do one live one at least.
Yeah.
But
I'm
like,
glad you're here.
just get some ideas and go, okay, like my horse is at training right now, but when he comes back, I have all these ideas of what I want to do to him.
Yeah. when your guinea pig comes back.
Yeah, when my guinea pig comes back. Yeah, he doesn't
My-
know it yet.
My pasture pig.
Yeah. But I mean, so like, I think we all need to just get braver and then, try to,
Yeah.
like, if you don't take pictures, at least kind of like try to remember what you saw, what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crack,
Absolutely. And you get,
cracking,
yeah,
bruising.
yeah, you get you so know these feet that you notice stuff right away. You know, we know these feet like the back of our hands, so we see when changes come. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but thank you very, very much. It's
Well,
been very enlightening.
You're welcome, and thank you very, very much too. In fact, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out here with us this afternoon when we could have been going to some nice garage sales or eating lunch with our girlfriend.
I had my cake. All right. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, bye, gals.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.